Hi guys! Today we're going to be learning about a famous artist who you might have heard of before, and his name is Henri Matisse. Henri Matisse is a French artist who was born in 1869, and he's best known for his use of color and being very original in the way that he made art. He did all kinds of art. He did sculptures, he did printmaking, but he's most well known for his paintings. He's really well known for making some revolutionary developments in art, which basically means he helped inspire people to make art in a different way than they were already. Before Henri Matisse, a lot of artists preferred to make art that looked exactly like real life, but Henri Matisse thought that was kind of boring, and he was what's known as an impressionist. Impressionism means that you use colors and shapes to kind of give the impression of movement or forms in your painting. If you look at one of these famous paintings of his, you can see he used lots of colors and lines to make it look like the water was moving and like it had a reflection. Henri Matisse loved art. He painted and did art his entire life. Once he got to be very old and he was bedridden, he couldn't paint anymore, but he even found a way to make art in that situation. When he was bedridden, he made a lot of art by cutting and gluing paper. So he was still able to make art until the day that he died. One of his famous paintings is of these goldfish, and it was made in 1912. Matisse actually really liked goldfish, and they're featured in 9 of his paintings, but this one is the most famous, and this is the one that we're inspired by today. I love fish, first of all, but I also love the bright colors and patterns, and I thought it'd be fun to do a project with you guys about it. So this here is my idea for you guys for our goldfish picture. Now we want to try to do impressionism like Matisse by using bold colors and shapes to make the idea of movement, which you see here in the water. I'm going to show you how to use crayons and markers to make it look like the water is moving. And we're also going to use some different techniques on the leaves and try to give them some texture. Now if this finished picture makes you feel a little intimidated, don't worry. I'm going to show you exactly how to make the fishbowl, the fish, and the table, and even the plants. But you can make the background, plants, and flowers any kind you want. And the bowl, the fish, and the table are pretty simple to follow with. So for this project, I need you to grab, of course, your paper and any coloring supplies you like to use. But if you're able to use both crayons and markers, definitely grab both because we will use both in this picture and I'll show you how. So go gather all your art supplies and let's get started. All right, so the first thing that we're gonna draw is our little bowl for our fish. So we wanna make it look kind of 3D. See how you can see the opening to the bowl and then you can also see the top of the water. How we do that is maybe just a bit above the middle of your paper, you're going to draw an oval. See, like that. Then you're going to go right on the edge of this oval and do 2 straight lines up and down. And then on the bottom of your fishbowl, you're going to do a curved line like a smiley mouth. Now we're going to make the top of our water. So just a little bit below this curve here, we're going to make a curve like a smiley mouth. Now, if you want to just leave it this way, you can, but to make it look 3D, we're also going to do a curve like a frowny mouth. If you feel really confused looking at all those lines together, then you can just skip that part if you need to. Now, the next thing we're going to do is make our little table, which is another oval behind our little water vase here. And then I like to do 2 straight lines that are kind of angled to do the legs. Now, just to make it easier to see, I'm going to quickly trace this in Sharpie marker. Okay, the rest of our drawing, if you don't want to use pencil, you don't have to. I still always recommend starting with pencil first because I just think it's a good idea. Now what we want to work on is making our little fish in our bowl. So I'm going to do kind of like an oval shape. Doesn't have to be a perfect oval. And then I'm gonna do 2 diagonal lines and a straight line for the tail. I'm gonna do a little curved line on top for a fin, a little curved line inside for another fin, and then a dot for an eye with a smile. Now you can add some extra details like little lines in the fins or the tail to make it look more realistic. I'm gonna make one more, but you can make as many as you want. Okay, and now is kind of our fun impressionist part with our drawing. We're just going to add flowers and leaves and other foliage around our picture. So I'm going to show you how to make all the same flowers and leaves I made in this one, but you can decide what kinds of flowers, where you want to put them, how many. You don't have to copy the same as me, but I'll show you how I did the ones here. So for this big leaf, it's like two curved lines. It goes off the edge on mine, but two kind of curved lines. Since this is a glass, you can actually draw your lines right through if you want. And there's a little point at the bottom. In the middle, I'm gonna do a little curved line. Give it a stem. Again, because it's a glass, the stem can show through if you want it to. And then I do some little curved lines on the leaf. I'm gonna do another one just kind of in the corner. Okay, then these ones here, you can start by doing two slightly curved lines that go up to a point. And then at the top of that point, do a curved line and another curved line. And then inside, I do a bunch of little lines like this. So there's another kind of leaf you can try. Now let's do these little kind of droopy flowers. I start with the flower part. I do a curved line that goes back up like this, and then I just draw a bunch of extra curved lines like little petals until it's as big as I want, and then I go back and connect. Then on top, curved line like that. And you can do a little stem. Behind these flowers, I did these kind of like just random little puffs of leaves. Kind of think of it like you're doing a cloud, but you're kind of almost making it more jagged or more pointy than a cloud would normally be. Okay, and then these down here are fun. You're gonna do just kind of like a wiggly line, almost like those flowers in SpongeBob that are in the background. And then you just do a couple more around until it's as big as you want. And then I did these kind of like almost like bean-shaped petals or leaves around it rather. So they're like misshapen circles. You don't even have to make it look perfect. And then these up here are pretty simple. Two lines and then an oval on top. And again, does not have to be perfect. It's okay if there's that little line there. Okay, I think I'm good with my drawing. I love all the different leaves and flowers I did. Remember, it's okay to do your own. Now what we want to do is we're going to start adding color. But we want to think about impressionism, giving the idea of movement using colors or lines. So see in the water here, this is the part I really want you guys to try doing something kind of cool with. though it will be easier if we color our fish first. So let's do that. On my original here, I actually colored in some little yellow spots with crayon first and then did marker over it. If you notice, sometimes when you do crayon first and you do marker on top, the crayon will show through. So that's an option. Otherwise, just color your fish any way you want. I recommend avoiding colors like blues or greens because then your fish will not stand out and it will blend into the water. Okay, so for the water here, I went through my crayons and I pulled every shade of blue and green I had, which wasn't that many, but that's okay. And then I also went through my markers and I pulled 2 different types of blue and green. So if you don't have a lot of different types of blues and greens, just grab yourself a blue marker and a blue crayon and a green crayon and a green marker. I recommend you start with crayon first and do mostly crayon because marker, if you do too much, it's really easy for it to just cover everything. So let's start with our blue. I'm gonna go in this oval, the top of my water, okay? And I'm gonna do my colors kind of sketchy and random, and look, I'm coloring in the shape of an oval. You can almost kind of scribble it around in here. I'm gonna take my green crayons and do the same. And then any white that's left, I can take my markers and I can do just little bits. Again, marker has a tendency to cover stuff a lot, so I do crayon first and I only do a little bit of marker. You'll also notice the marker won't want to cover the crayon very much, so that's nice. I'll take my green and do a little bit. The reason we're adding the green in the water is honestly just because it looks pretty. If water is green, it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. Lots of water in fish tanks turns green from like the plants in the fish tank, so it's normal. Now in here, we're going to do the same thing with our crayons. Start with whatever color you feel like, but instead of doing an oval, we're just gonna color kind of in a curved motion. See how all my coloring is kind of curved? And I'm being really sketchy. Like right now it looks like I'm coloring super lazy, but this is how a lot of impressionists work with paint. They do just little sections of color, and when you build it up, it looks really beautiful at the end. Of course, be careful around your fish because you don't want to just scribble over them. And look at that, that looks so beautiful and cool. Because of us coloring in certain directions, you can see the movement of the water, which I think is really cool. I'm gonna show you one more area that you can do some kind of impressionist coloring in, and that's in your plants and your flowers. So if you do have crayons and markers, grab yourself the different shades of green you have, or yellow could work too, and just go on your leaves. And you can try doing half of your leaf in a dark and half of your leaf in a light green. And I like to actually color kind of quickly because if I do, I get more of like a sketchy kind of blurry look, which goes better with impressionism. Now, obviously you don't want to go so fast that you just completely color outside the lines, but see, you get really beautiful blending even with crayons. You can use green marker to just give like a little bit different color to some of the leaves. So I like to do it on the stem for this one. But that's just one example. Try it on your different leaves. On this one, I did scribbles of dark and light green. On this one, I did the middle dark and the outside light. And on this one, I did marker in the middle with crayon around. So try different things. I'm gonna go through and finish all my leaves, and then I will just finish doing the rest of my picture. One of the last things I'm going to do is add a background color. On this one I did light pink, on this one I'm going to do light yellow. The background color looks really nice, but I do recommend that you choose a color that's kind of a lighter, more pale color that's not going to take away too much from all of the beautiful designs that you did. Alright guys, and I'm all finished with my second impressionist goldfish drawing. I hope you guys had fun kind of experimenting with using different materials to give you the idea of motion or the idea of texture on part of your picture, and just take your time doing whatever colors or textures or patterns you want to do. Alright guys, I hope you had fun making your Henri Matisse inspired goldfish drawings today. And I hope you had fun using your crayons and markers in a little bit different way than usual to kind of get that impressionist look. I would love to see how yours turned out, so if you could send me a picture, it would make me super happy. But I will see you guys next time for our next video. Bye!